Everybody suffers. Hello there, this is Pastor Pete Pawelek. Thank you for joining me for this edition of the Daily Devo. As always, let me quickly mention my website, pastorpete.org. You can find lots of resources there, including all of these daily Devos, and a free way for you to sign up to get these in your inbox. You can also subscribe and follow us there on Podbean to make sure you never miss an episode. Today, I have been reflecting in Luke chapter 24. And I just want to read to you verses 25 and 26. Jesus here has been walking on the Emmaus Road with those disciples. And we get to this verse, and here's what it says in verse 25. He said to them, "How foolish you are, and how slow to believe all that the prophets have spoken. Wasn't it necessary for the Messiah to suffer these things and enter into his glory?" You know, when I read that, wasn't it necessary for the Messiah to suffer? If there was ever anybody in the history of the world, my friends, who should not have had to suffer any, it was Jesus. He didn't earn his suffering. He didn't deserve his suffering. He was sinless. He was perfect in every way. There should have been no suffering in his life. And yet the very one who deserved no suffering, the least of all of us, is the very one who bore all suffering on behalf of all of us. He suffered the most. Jesus, the one who shouldn't have suffered at all, is the one who suffered the most. And this brings me back to my original statement that we're going to all have to suffer. You know, I know nobody likes suffering. I don't want to suffer. I don't like hard days. I don't like difficult Mondays. I don't like tough conversations. I don't like sickness. I don't like pain. I don't like suffering with anything in life, right? I don't want to suffer. I just don't. I don't want there to be any suffering in my life. But the reality of living in a world that is dominated by sin is that there will be suffering. Everybody suffers. Even Jesus suffered. And so I was challenging myself this week and this day especially. I mean, I've been thinking about this a lot for the last few days. I've been challenging myself with not trying to escape suffering, but looking at how the Word of God empowers me and equips me and enables me to endure all things, to endure all suffering. You know, I think that is the message we need to take. We're not trying to escape suffering, or we shouldn't be. We're trying to be ready to endure whatever suffering comes our way, because we're all going to have to suffer. At some point, at some time, in some situation or circumstance, suffering is going to come our way. So why not prepare for it and be ready for it and be ready to stand on the Word of God when it comes? Everybody suffers, even Jesus. I hope you have a great day. I hope there's no suffering in your way, but if there is suffering today, know you can stand it because of who Jesus is. Come over and visit me at pastorpete.org. Tell a friend about this podcast.